Hazel Mariner greeted her very first sunrise on true September 1998 in a sun-bleached cottage set on cedar stilts above Lake Superior's glass-clear Apostle Bay, Wisconsin. Outside, whitecaps whispered against rocky shallows, while her mother, a wonder-happy folk rock guitarist who tucks pressed lupin pedals between spare picks, finger-plucked a lull that sent tin plates humming on the show. Her father, a maritime cartographer who sketches cloud sturgeon on the back of docking manifests, bent so close their freckles mingles, and told his newborn that dock gossip, locker room sneers, and size charts stuck at 14 would always drift aside for any soul bold enough to grow into every inch of her outline. Curves rippled through the Mariner family like warm river inflows meeting cold lake currents, so no one flinched when baby Hazel split her second flannel wrap long before the kettle squealed. Granny Coral threaded a fishing line needle through the torn seams, patched them with strips of a retired schooner sail, and laughed. That extra cloth costs pennies, while forcing a child to shrink can cost her whole horizon of dawns. Grade school corridors carried the scent of cedar pencils, cinnamon fry bread from the lunch window, and lake fog sneaking through tilted sash frames. Hazel already towered half a head above her classmates, lighting the overhead bulb whenever she traced otter migration on the pulled-down map. One sleek gray recess, two boys hop-stepped around her, chanting tugboat each time her rain boots thumped a chalk square. That evening, she searched the tidal rack, gathering soda caps polished pearl by tumbling ice, threaded them onto nylon, stitched the rattling chain down her teal hoodie, and glided into class at dawn, scattering rainbow freckles across acoustic tiles. A visiting literacy coach taped 8 shaky seconds on a prepaid flip phone, posted the clip to a newborn online corner, and by lunch, 15,000 strangers applauded the girl who turned teasing into lighthouse shine. Hazel pressed one promise in violet ink beside subtraction drills. Clouds crowd only until you flash them bright enough to scatter. Weekends belonged to Bayfield Marina, where her mother's guitar runs blended with diesel coughs from fishing trawlers, fry basket crackles, and gulls lobbying for herring heads. Store jeans wedged at Hazel's thighs, so she bartered tip jar quarters for ice-frosted gill net, unraveled it into rope, crocheted high-rise culottes, spritzed loon silhouettes with squid ink, and posed at cranberry sunset against rust-flecked pilings while her cousins snapped rainy photos. She funneled every frame into an online diary named Lantern Drift. During the same week, a photo-sharing app shimmered across patchy Northwoods towers. Captions toggled between Great Lakes slang and simple truths like curves anchor gale gusts steadier than seawalls. Before Sweet 16 candle flickered, she counted 54,000 unseen hearts tapping likes under each copper shot. Proof, glowing rectangles hush cafeteria whispers quicker than any assistant coach whistle. An inland wind energy scholarship tugged her south to the University of Minnesota, Duluth. Daylight evaporated in turbine labs, while nights belonged to a 24-hour pasty cart glowing neon blueberry under iron ore silos. The heat lamp became her only softbox. Between venison orders, she filmed 90-second reels, folding parchment into wide rose barrettes while explaining dart rotation in half shoreline hush, half lecture buzz. One clip laid common loon calls over a low fast shuffle while she chain-stitched reflective anchor cord into thrifted denim. 48 hours later, views breezed past 1.3 million. Midwest fashion blogs crowned her the pasty couturière, although every sponsor email halted at size 16. Hazel slid each pitch into a folder labeled shrinking nets, wiped rutabaga gravy from her cuff, and wrapped another crust. Spring Thaw delivered an invitation from Columbia Sportswear asking her to co-design a storm shell capsule called Boreal Pulse. She replied with 3 bedrock terms: patterns through 60-inch hips, half the creative crew hired from community college design grads, and 10% of net profit directed to ice rescue training for remote tribal firehouses from Michigan to Manitoba. Columbia signed before sunrise paint lab skylights. The shoe opened on a hidden cobble spit, where newborn piping plovers stitched ellipses toward mirror water. Hazel guided curvy paddleboarders along glass ripples while a drone traced lazy figure eights overhead. When the lookbook launched, every extended size jacket vanished in 41 hours across 28 countries. Lantern Drift vaulted beyond 700,000 lantern icons, all dusted with nutmeg sugar. From a graveyard Kringle rush, she balanced her phone on a flower crate, ducked behind potato sack towers, and live streamed tear-shiny thanks beneath buzzing fluorescence. First Shoreline shout sells in Nana Gold Glide. Tap subscribe right now if the waves of this tale already lap at your ribcage. One gentle press secures your rail space, so next week's voyage splashes into your feed before algorithm currents swerve. Spotlight Shimmadrew Rumor Cormorants. A clickbait vlog insisted Hazel cinched steel plates round her waist inside royal pole shells. At dawn, she paddled a cedar board beyond reed beds, stood steady in sports bra and flannel shorts, traced each stretch mark with crushed bougainvillea dust, and fired a sax riff with her mother so raw mergansers paused mid-dive. 10 million viewers reposted the jam tagged bougainvillea proof, brushing pink pollen across their own curves until gossip sank silent. Pasty carwages braided with capsule world teas and whipped into river shea butter, a silky custard folding white rice milk, maple birch sap oil, under boned flash. 19,000 tins cooled on her father's chart bench, lids tied with braided net cord, each tag printed, "Moisturize your horizon." Stock drained in 82 minutes, lifting $196,000. 20% seeded Beacon grants, sending industrial surgers and hydrophones to plus-size teens in shoreline schools from Thunder Bay to Traverse City. 8 months later, 36 grantees streamed a floating fashion and loon harmony gala aboard a retro tug strung in LED cedar boughs, greeting sunrise homerooms from Kingston to Nairobi. Twin Cities Fashion Week meant a new war floor when a backstage fan ripped her slave mesh gown from hip to hem, 80 heartbeats before runway. Hazel yanked neon dock rope off a rick post, laced the gash like boot hooks, and swept the catwalk as though the splice had slept in every sketch. Shutters cracked like kettle corn, Vogue North crowned the save rope cadence. Another million lantern flares ignited before brass horns even warmed the after-party air. A jilted liaison leaked crop emails suggesting she demanded walleye slider pyramids and chauffeured ice boats for her rescue goal, Comet. She posted the full chain, showing refillable water urns, lentil stew for crew, and caption tablets for deaf stylists, then channeled that month's affiliate tide, $134,000, into biodegradable fishnet pilots off Al Royale. Fans echoed her peer motto, "Receipts shimmer brighter than rumor grit," until whispers melted like April snow. By midsummer, metrics glow till 6.9 million Instagram mates, 3.4 million real Voyagers, 2 million firm channel subscribers, engagement brushing 10% and rewriting brand projections. Cartier invited her to headline atop a Surge microfilm inside Split Rock Lighthouse lens. She accepted after Cartier-funded therapy stipends for ice rescue volunteers rocked by thin ice tragedy. The finished clip, her wrists scattering amber shards across iron struts, became Cartier's most saved post of the quarter. Emily studies her rudder. Twice a month, she streams Porchline Groove, mom rocking brass riffs beside a propane griddle, dad reading cloud haiku, Hazel upcycling thrift denim under string lights. One broadcast peaked 9 million when Comet waddled through powdered sugar, then sneezed glitter across the lens. A wildlife refuge now sponsors every stream, tagging rehabilitated gulls with solar beacons paid for by Rivershade Butter. Butter revenue breezed past 12 million before its second equinox. She leased a silent fishing shed, punched skylights through corrugated tin, and hired furloughed deckhands plus design grads to whip custard and knot lids by hand during midday groove breaks to brass house loops. Efficiency advisors begged for shrink seals. She echoed her mother's creed, fingertips keep legends longer than any robot, and rope ties stayed. Her feed chimes with mind weather honesty. Basalt cliff portraits nest beside pasty cart selfies. Caption, same sky, different tide. She shares breath flutes recorded inside sea caves, printable resilience sheets in English and Ojibwe, and sliding scale therapy links. 131,000 followers call her Shoreline Candor their first calm harbor. Community rides glitter under crush shell paint. Hundreds glide dust causeways wearing Rivershade butter on collarbones and LD birch leaf tassels on spokes. Ticket income fattens beacon grins and lifts wheelchair snorkel rigs at Clear Spring Coves. Fish shacks fry late. Whitefish chowder bowls jump 15% on ride nights. Hazel leads on a vintage cruiser with pommet plush strap front, pausing to retie any rider's drifting sneaker. She is finishing a memoir titled Currents Keep Names for 11 Language Shells next spring, while a documentary crew follows her plan to convert retired lightboys into floating maker hubs for island schools. Puma's Y2 Wave Lantern sneaker launches next quarter, threaded with reflective rope and cushioned by algae foam, funneling 10% of revenue into beacon seedlings hugging the Great Lakes Loop. Second breeze of invitation catches your cell. If that subscribe badge still glows red, let it mellow to soft gray right now. One simple tap secures the next lake lit chapter before algorithm gusts change direction. When playback draws quiet water glide to the description. Waiting there are new jars of river shade butter, express beacon grant portals, tonight's Porchline Groove playlist, and one discreet compass, a science-rooted kit of conversation sparks and confidence rituals mapping the clearest course toward lasting love and the most dependable way to spark sincere intrigue in any woman you meet. Free, open, one click away. If the soda cast spine shimmer rope lace gown rescue or comic glitter sneeze sparked even half a grin, tap like drop your brightest ripple in the comments and share this voyage with a friend whose sails hang slack. Every curve redirects currents, every scar refracts moonlight, and the lake bows to anyone bold enough to plant both boots on the pier and greet tomorrow eyes wide. Third, software called Floats on Loon song. Subscribe this instant, claim your reel, explore the love link nestled in the description, and meet me on the next rising tide when another story flickers beyond the brick wall and courage gently calls your name again.